and welcome to the Saudi Tourism Authority podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Headley-Hymers, and I'm joined today by the fabulous Sandeep Walia, COO of Marriott International Middle East. Sandeep, thank you so much for joining me today.
First of all, a big pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for having me over.
Now, I want to talk to you about your portfolio in Saudi, which is driving me crazy with TikTok videos of temptation. So let's start there. Tell me what is the portfolio at the moment in Saudi? What's everybody getting excited about?
So currently we have 39 open hotels and we have 46 projects. So an easy maths, it's more than double. And I think for us, clearly a goal is to cross that 100 hotel mark in Saudi, and this is one of the markets we can easily do. We recently opened the St. Regis in Riyadh, and that was a bit of a turning point, and I'll explain why. Because for the longest time we have been talking about signings, yet to watch this space to come. We're going to open this, and this was the first hotel that flipped into we're open.
Yes.
So this was the St. Regis in Riyadh, which opened about a year back. It's been doing amazing. Great reviews and good occupancies and average rates. But I think the proof of the pudding was then also to get into the giga projects, right? So if I had to talk about the four, the Red Sea, Neom, the Raya Gate, and Ruwa Al Madina. Let me start with where the excitement has already started in terms of openings, and that's the Red Sea.
Yeah.
We opened the St. Regis Red Sea, which was not only the first beach resort to open in Red Sea, but also for Red Sea, the first one. And that was the exciting part. It came with its own pressure points in terms of being the first resort to open.
Yes.
But it's been a fabulous opening, and it's a beautiful, stunning resort. An island we are very proud of. So essentially there are two islands. One is St. Regis, and right next to that, which is about 10 minutes by a yacht, but you can kind of see the island from a distance, is the Ritz-Carlton Reserve. And that's very exciting because it's going to be our first Ritz-Carlton Reserve in Middle East. In fact, the first Ritz-Carlton Reserve in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So it's our first one.
And the Reserve brand, that's the ultra luxury. It doesn't get any higher than that, right?
I would say it's one of the highest that we have. We of course have our Bulgari brand as well, but from a resort destination, from a destination which is not in the heart of the city, but something you're getting away from, and something which has been a trend now. You know, we kind of talk about one of the trends which is there, which is about slow travel, where you're kind of slowing down and disconnecting. I don't know how much we'll all disconnect from technology when we feel almost naked without our mobile phones, but the idea is to disconnect, to slow down, and that slow travel really leans into Ritz-Carlton Reserve.
It looks a lot like the Maldives. Is that the competition for it? Is this going to change the way that people in the GCC holiday? Is this going to be our new local break?
Yes, it would be. You're absolutely right. It is the Maldives of Middle East. And the good thing is the time zone is the same. The connectivity is getting better now. We used to have flights from Riyadh and Jeddah. Now we have twice a flight from Dubai. The Red Sea airport opened. So the last time I landed there was at the Red Sea airport, which is amazing, to go to the St. Regis and now kind of visit the Ritz-Carlton Reserve as well. So we in fact opened, to your previous question about, what's the next excitement and where TikTok is going next. I need to finally open an account now. Is going to be Ritz-Carlton Reserve, which we opened later this month.
Yes.
So that's kind of our first bucket of excitement coming in. And then in the phase 2, we have the addition as well. But what's exciting is also Neom, right? With the size of things happening in Neom. And it's all in the making. So I was there about a few weeks back with Tony, our CEO, and our president, Satya. And we kind of went around to see actually what's happening. And all the videos we have seen, how the line is coming up and how the different islands are coming up. But the first one is Sindala, where there are 5 hotels and 4 of them is ours. And the luxury collection and the autograph would be the first one to open.
And when will that open?
We're looking at later, end of this year, beginning next year.
Oh, wow.
So pretty soon as well.
Yeah.
But the one which would open prior to that would be the Raya Gate, which we are looking at Q3, Q4 of this year. Again, the first two to open in the Raya Gate with Luxury Collection and the Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh. So that's another bucket of excitement.
So you've got all of the big areas covered, the real tourist attractions.
Yes.
Marriott's got presence everywhere, which is great news for Bonvoy members.
Absolutely, yes. And what's also even the cherry on the cake is the fact that they are all the first movers. We are the first ones to get in and open those destinations. I think that's exciting. We cannot not talk about holy tourism when we're talking about Saudi. So we look at the projects of Ruwa Al Medina, where they're kind of building a whole series of hotels around the mosque. And we were fortunate enough to get the first set of hotels, which is kind of next to each other with the Ritz-Carlton JW, and it's a series of 6 hotels in a row. So that's going to be exciting as well. But it's not only about, yes, the luxury projects are exciting. Luxury travel is going in, as you know better. It's kind of grown double-digit ADRs. But it's also what's happening in terms of the select and the premium space. So we have our largest aloft in the world, which is 1,000 rooms in Medina, which is under construction. We have 2 Fairfield Inns, which are with 4,000 rooms in the Holy City. So a lot coming in terms of volume and the select space as well, which we're equally excited.
And this pipeline, roughly, what are we looking at, 5 years? Everything will be...
You're absolutely right. We're looking at 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these giga projects are future looking for sure. If you look at NEOM and the rest of it. But they all start today, and that's really exciting. And you've got to go there and believe what's happening. It's another world. So
talking about being on the ground, you've got the TTASSIN program?
TTASSIN, yes.
TTASSIN program. Tell me about that and about the young hospitality professionals, because I know you're very keen on mentorship. You're very good at helping to bring people up through the ranks. So I've just come back from Saudi, and I've met quite a few young women who are working in the industry, and they are fabulous, absolutely fabulous. What's been your experience?
Similar. It's super exciting. First of all, TTASSIN, of course, is our program with Cornell University. So we felt that, when you talk about authentic travel and tourism and being welcomed by the locals, I think that's really authentic. Not only being welcomed, but by the hotels being led by the local Saudis would be a big win. So we currently have about 43% of our workforce, which is all from Saudi. But it's not about today. As we spoke about, there's a lot of growth coming, a lot of hotels and resorts to open. So we felt there's a need to kind of start doing something on education, which is a combination of both theoretical and in the hotel training. So we're doing something called TTASSIN, which is a kind of a blend of both.
Yeah.
And the teams are supercharged. The people who are the TTASSIN students, amazing. The energy they bring, the enthusiasm they bring, the excitement they have in their eyes. But you touched upon women leadership and women in the industry. That's another level.
Yeah.
And I want to share an example. So I was having breakfast with, so we started a program called High Potential TTASSIN. And the whole intent is that, you have TTASSIN, which is kind of getting the supervisors and the managers ready for tomorrow. But as I mentioned, we need hotels to be led by Saudi nationals. So how do we get people ready to be the hotel managers and general managers of tomorrow? So we chose 8 people. No surprise, 50% are women in this program. And the idea is that we get them ready in 2 years to be there, high performers. So one of the times I was visiting, I was having breakfast with them. And one of them was slightly late, stuck in traffic. And we were waiting for her, and she called another colleague of hers, and the phone rang. Time for some confession. I did see her phone ringing. And it said, so for example, if the lady's name was Sarah, the phone rang on my neighbor's, the lady was sitting next to me, and it said, General Manager Sarah. So I was very tempted. First I said, you shouldn't have seen the phone ringing, but I said, you know what, I'm going to ask anyway. So I asked, I said, what is the General Manager Sarah? And she said, the day you chose us to be a part of the GM program, and you believed in us, you made us believe in us so much that we changed our own names or our own mobiles as not Sarah, but General Manager Sarah, because we were already convinced we'll get there. So that's the conviction. And that's the power of kind of belief saying, I will, and I'm already there, and we're going to be there together.
And so really, I'm seeing that as well. There's a misconception. Even I had a misconception. I thought maybe some of the women would be shy that we were meeting when we were out there.
No.
Not at all. No. Not at all. Fiery, but like just confident, so patriotic, so passionate about their country and passionate about welcoming guests, which is brilliant for Marriott. In that respect, what are the benefits for the owners who are investing and for you as a company at the forefront of opening? I'm sure you're opening more than any other single hotel group in the world. Why have you decided to do that? Why have you decided to apply that much focus?
Saudi Arabia is one of the stories of the century.
True.
You either believe it or you miss out. So I'm on the first camp. Totally believe it. And I think we as a company have kind of made a choice that we want to be a leader in the story of the century, and that's Saudi. So for us, we clearly see growth happening. We're seeing, as I mentioned, we have 39 open hotels, so we've had a flavor of the country. We're seeing the growth happen. We're seeing the numbers. We're seeing the choices it's bringing to our Bonvoy members. I mean, today we are 203 million members and growing. And you're kind of able to bring much more to them, whether it's holy tourism, whether it is a place like Riyadh or Jeddah, or whether the Giga projects. I mean, it's going to have the FIFA, and it's going to have the Expo, and it's going to have the ski competition. So it's going to be endless. So there, it's clear for us why we want to be there. It's also growth for our people. I mean, we're seeing a lot of people who want to go to Saudi and work. You talk about sustainability. The hotels which are opening in Red Sea are 100% renewable energy, included the St. Regis. So a lot of excitement. It's doing the right things. It ticks all our trends that we are seeing: sustainability, slow travel, solo travel, dupe destinations, all that we talk about, it fits in. So we're kind of part of that excitement. From an ownership perspective, I think it's a clear win too. They're opening hotels where they need to bring it on the map for people to come. And here they have clearly, when they sign with us, an army of 203 million members who are behind us and with us, that we look after, that they have so many more guests coming to their hotels and eventually adding to the whole business plan which they have. So a win-win for all.
It's an exciting time for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm really enjoying watching the whole thing happen. Like you say, story of the century sums it up. So finally, one last question for you. Travel's very much about precious moments and memories that you can take home. You're in Saudi a lot, obviously, with work. Tell me one of your favorite moments or one of your favorite things in Saudi that you would recommend other people visiting for the first time to do.
As exciting as Riyadh is, I think when I go to these giga projects, it truly and sincerely inspires me from the bottom of my heart that how much one country, one vision, one dream can create. Just the whole scale of how things are happening, whether you're at Diriyah Gate or Red Sea or Neom, it's just to see that. Every time I come back, I leave inspired of what can be done, and it just kind of brings more reality to your dreams that you have.
And instead of going to the Maldives next time for my next holiday, should I be coming to the Red Sea?
You should be coming to the Red Sea. And I'll be planning a vacation between St. Regis and Ritz-Carlton Reserve.
I can't wait. Thank you so much, Sandeep Walia.
Thank you, Sarah.
It is always a pleasure to talk to you.
It was a pleasure once again. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.